Please welcome Robin Gibb. I'd be wearing my poppy, but I was worried about getting in the cake. I'm very glad to see you got it on. Now, BBC Electric Proms. Tell us about this.
It's quite a media event which happens. It's the third one where all the radio stations of the BBC and television come together to celebrate music with new young acts. This particular one, this Saturday, is going to be doing the Fever music. And there's a lot of new young acts, a whole array of acts on it.
It must be wonderful for them coming and doing it with you, but I bet they're nervous as anything, aren't they, when they come
I'm
back?
nervous.
Yeah. Did you ever expect it to carry on quite this long, you know?
Well, you know, we, as songwriters, you know, we wrote for other people as well, like Chain Reaction for Diana Ross and Heartbreak and Video Work and Islands in the Stream and Woman in Love for Barbara Streisand and all these people. It's composers and recording artists as well. We've worn different hats, so we've always seen ourselves as composers and recording artists, and we've always believed that, you know, in the popular song, which I always believe is perennial, and singing about human emotions.
Well, that's perennial, but style isn't necessarily perennial. It's often quite ephemeral, and, you know, songs come and songs go, and they're very much of their era now. OK, your music is very much of the 80s, but it's still kept going. I mean, that song, everybody just goes, ah, ah.
Well, because I think it's this a cultural impact that certain music has, and I think that creates a bit of history. And I think what happens is that everybody from each generation buys into that. But there are also songs that people can relate to as well, because they're singing about songs that people, when you're singing about emotions and you're talking about it, people reach out over the decades, even people who are not yet born.
Do you mind people wanting to hear the same tracks again? Because I always think it's very disappointing when you go somewhere and you go to a famous, you know, musos concert and they don't do the big ones that you really want to hear. They say, oh, no, this is my new material, and they go on with that. And I always feel as part of the audience a little bit shortchanged when that happens.
I think that's changing a lot, because I think we're entering an era now where there's no such thing as nostalgia. It's where it's only good and bad. And the difference is, nostalgia only exists when music isn't evolving. And what's happening is new music isn't evolving, it's actually looking back. So what you have is that we have a lot of radio stations actually playing a lot of older records rather than playing new records, because they're on safe territory.
But what's the secret of a good tune, Robin? You see, we can hum your music. We can hum your tunes, you know.
Well, I think the popular song is always alive and well, and I think people who say it isn't is people who can't write them, or don't want to write them, or don't want the responsibility of doing so. But I always say what my dad always said: if the milkman can whistle it, you got it.
Dead right. Did you imagine, though, when you were doing the music for Saturday Night Fever, that we would still be watching it, that we would still be listening and playing it?
It's still the biggest selling soundtrack in the world today.
Gosh.
And out of the catalogues, alongside Lennon and McCartney, for the last 2 years, the two biggest catalogues in the world have been Gibb.
I mean, you're second only to the Beatles in terms of as a group, in terms of record sales and stuff.
So it's fantastic for us. We lost Morris, of course, in 2003, died, and unfortunately before his time, and that's something that, you know.
Does that make you more determined to keep the music going in a way? The fact that you're not the group that you were, obviously, because of Morris's death. But does it make you more determined to keep it going? Yeah,
but I think, you know, we've got a large catalogue to look after, and in essence, that's actually, you know, is part of Morris's legacy as well. Yeah. Now, there's things I do independently. I'm first ambassador for the Outward Bound Trust for Prince Andrew. With Prince, he's a great supporter of it. And also there's president of CSAC, which is the authors and songwriters and people like that. And
so you still have very much a vested interest in music at that level.
Yeah.
You've learned from other people, I guess, who've sold their music on for what seemed like a good price at the time, and then later on, of course, regretted it.
Yes, I think that's I think very few people who have big catalogues don't really own their own catalogues, which is sad, honestly, because I think it's a moral right that if you write your own song, you should be able to own them.
You do, so you're worth knowing. Yeah.
Yes.
All that lot.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true. I mean, if you go sit down and write a song, although we didn't know at the time what we were writing, that we we did see you don't know exactly what you've got when you're doing it. You're having fun, and you're hoping it sounds good to us. Let's hope it sounds good to other people.
I'm sure it will. Good luck on Saturday. It's been great to talk to you, ladies and
Thanks,
gentlemen.
Alan.
Robin Gibb. Thank you very much. Still to come on Thursday.